Greetings, everyone. I would like to start today by always expressing my gratitude for having this platform and opportunity to speak and be heard. With this said, I would like to use a moment and speak directly to the Ross family and supporters if you're listening. My heart has went out to your family the night I heard some individuals from the section I used to be from took the life, of your family members. It was a shock to me, a disbelief, and a complete disagreement and condemnation. Although I have been mentioned, arrested, and convicted of this crime against your family, and although your family have been told and led to believe by the work of the 77th Division Detective McCartney and Richards and District Attorney David Milton that their evidence led to me, I did not murder your family members, and your family has not been rendered justice. I had absolutely nothing to do with this. I wasn't there, nor had any knowledge they would do something like this. I do not have the type of heart or moral desensitivity to harm a mother and her child or any innocent person. Yes, I was a gang member caught up in that self-inflicted genocidal mentality. However, I never was one who would do anything to an innocent person or someone who wasn't a part of the gang life like me. It is unfortunate that our lives have become connected through your loss. However, I personally want you to know I did not commit.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And I am sorry for your loss. Thank you for listening. Now, I want to stipulate that everything I speak about is information I either experienced, have in my transcripts, some excerpts will be made available to view, or I know about to the best of my memory, or is something I theorize based on the evidence. I might misspeak certain minor details, but everything is fact-based. I would like to turn the topic to George Williams / Nutty. Nutty made approximately 6 to 7 tapes, recorded statements, and was codenamed Witness 58. Nutty is the reason District Attorney David Milton was able to falsify more evidence against me. Nutty conspired with District Attorney Milton and the detectives by lying and giving a false statement about me making a statement to him regarding a .30-30 weapon used in this crime. I never made a statement to this guy, and he know it. In exchange for that statement, he cleared himself and his alleged cousin, Big U, and sin of the crime, that is, the Ross murders, the attempted murder, and kidnapping, which Nutty initially told them in October they committed. Nutty conspired with and was pressured by other 60s to make me an easy fall guy and perpetrator of this crime, being that I was once arrested. I was still kind of new from 60s and to camouflage their involvement. In my transcript, there is a regular citizen witness who ID'd P.D.W.A.C. and 3 other 60s in an automobile in the late evening hours of September 11th, the evening of the Ross murders. She knew them and described them by name, physical description, and seating order, with P.D.W.A.C. being the driver. The prosecutor called the witness to testify against P.D.W.A.C. Outside of P.D.W.A.C. and one other she mentioned, which was T-Bone, the detectives and DA looked the other way with the other 2. Mad Ronnie Carr, a 73 Green Monte Carlo, was identified by witnesses at the scene leaving the alley of the Ross home with 4 black males in it. Unbeknownst to me at the time, there was an all-points bulletin put out on Mad Ronnie Carr. This explains why the detective jammed us up and hauled us to 77th Division that morning when I noticed Tito Rock and Mad Ronnie changing his tire, and I went down to help in my pajamas. Mad Ronnie's car was involved. Mad Ronnie was the second person the so-called eyewitness said came running out of the Ross home and was arrested with me the first time. Mad Ronnie wasn't charged again. It was Nutty false statement that got me rearrested. George Williams, a.k.a. Nutty, a.k.a. Witness 58, was introduced to the 60s by Big U, Slim, and Petey Wack in the summer of '85. Nutty, Big U, and Slim were in the same karate school. Big U and Slim put the cousin label on him in the neighborhood, which meant hands off. I did not know Nutty, nor hang or bang with him. We were in different crowds, and being that he was just from Hoover and knew, he stayed close to Big U, Slim, and Petey Wack. Plus, at the time he was brought around in the summer of '85, my life was in transition with going back to school and playing football. 3 months after the crime happened, on December 17th, Nutty was in a meeting with Detective Richards and McCartley and District Attorney Milton discussing what evidence they did and did not have on this case. Nutty came to the December meeting with instructions from other 60s to say it was me. In this meeting, the conspiracy and agreement was made with the DA and detectives to point the finger at me so they could make another arrest with Petey Wack and calm the public outcry of apprehending the perpetrators of this horrible crime and to clear him and his cousin. After the Ross murders occurred, Nutty called 77th Division as an anonymous informant with information about the Ross murders and a separate attempted murder on Lil Hard Dog from 8 Trey. Nutty became concerned about both because, one, Jeffrey Barlow and some others told investigators he supplied Petey Wack, T-Bone, and Slim guns. 2, in the attempted murder, Lil Hard Dog and his brother identified his car, a black 77 Pontiac Firebird with a spoiler on the back. And 3, the guns used in the attempted murder, which was September 8th, was the guns used in the Ross murders on September 11th. Nutty was trying to get ahead of everything, and he did. Nutty started having meetings, phone calls, and as the detectives characterized it, rendezvous with them, over 30, providing them information about the attempted murder and Ross murders. On October 8th and the 22nd, Nutty made tape-recorded statements stating how Big U, T-Bone, and Petey Wack was involved in the Ross murders, how Slim and Petey Wack committed the attempted murder on Lil Hard Dog, and how No Good supplied a red duffel bag of ammunition. After making these statements, he asked to be placed in witness protection. He and his wife, Audrey, would later be taken on an apartment search with the detectives, receiving $2,000 in LAPD witness protection funds and offered a new car. However, Nutty couldn't escape the pressure and threats by other 60s behind his cooperation. His mother and karate trainer, Stephen Sanders, and Alan Potter became upset with him as well because he was cooperating with the investigation and speaking about Big U and Slim. His trainer told him that if he continued to cooperate, he would not train him any longer and would ensure he would not compete anywhere in the nation. Nutty then started changing his tune and mind about the evidence and information he provided on Big U and Slim. So this politically ambitious district attorney, David Milton, decided to only file charges on Petey Wack for the Ross murders and attempted murder in November. Nutty tells the DA and detectives that Big Cat, Slim, and No Good, and Big U kidnapped him at gunpoint and took him for a ride to his loved one's home and threatened to kill his family, his wife Audrey, and his twin boys, one being today's loose cannon, if he go to court on PDWAC. By now, I'm being sacrificed, with Nutty being told by 60s and the system to point the finger at me. When December comes, Nutty had that meeting and involved me, and then exchanged Big Sleepwalk and his dark green 81 Camaro without a spoiler as being the person and car involved in the attempted murder. In the attempted murder case, Lil Hard Dog identified PDWAC shooting from a 77 black Pontiac Firebird with a spoiler. Nutty drove a 77 black Pontiac Firebird with a spoiler.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
In the October tapes, Nutty told detectives Slim was in the back seat with a gun behind front-seated PDWAC, and Slim was pissed at Wack because he did not do the shooting right. He told the detectives that Lil Hard Dog was intentionally targeted because he had something to do with Little Mumbles getting paralyzed back in the days. In court, the detectives was cross-examined why and how they came to the conclusion Sleeprock and his dark green Camaro was involved. They said because Nutty said so. So D.A. Milton lumped the Ross murder, which me and PDWAC was charged, and the attempted murder, which Sleeprock and PDWAC was charged, together as one, making us three co-defendants, with Nutty being the key witness for our arrest. In that December 17th meeting, Nutty and the detectives and DA ensured that the initial information Nutty provided on the October tapes, when he was cooperating and asking to be placed in witness protection, and in the many meetings and contacts regarding Big and Slim involvement with the Ross murders and attempted murder, would not cause them to be charged. He told them he did not want to press charges on them for the kidnapping. Nutty ensured he would not have accessory and murder charges brought on him for supplying the guns in the Ross murder. Nutty ensured Sleepwalk and his dark green 81 Camaro would be the evidence in the attempted murder, despite description of the car the victims gave. Sleepwalk case would be dismissed after preliminary hearings. My case was made through conspiracy, corruption, and cover-up in the 60s/gang community and judicial community. Nutty was a key ingredient to making it happen. It is incredible how the detective and district attorney looked the other way when evidence was leading them in a...
You have 60 seconds remaining.
The LAPD, Detectives Richards and McCartley, and Los Angeles District Attorney David Milton allowed George Williams/Nutty to continue to roam the streets of LA, damaging, hurting, and harming more innocent people in their lives until 1990 or 91, when 2 more lives were taken that he would be tried, convicted, and sent to death row for. After his conviction, the Los Angeles District Attorney Office, in their LA Times press release, had the audacity to reference and admit Nutty supplied the weapons in the Ross murder, as they spoke about his criminal past, but never was held accountable. In this deal, the LAPD 77 Detective Division would and did receive the accolades and credits for a thorough and swift investigation and getting the community and media to think they have arrested the right horrible people who committed this callous crime. The district attorney, David Milton, only seen this high-profile case as an opportunity to advance his political quest. It was never about seeking justice for the Ross family and ensuring a thorough, competent investigation was conducted so he could render justice for the victims, the community, and society, and hold those responsible accountable as he took an oath to ensure. DA David Milton exploited this tragedy for his own political gain, and he succeeded with Nutty help. After DA Milton's interview with the Los Angeles Times on my conviction, it gave him more recognition where he would later be elected judge. Incredibly, just last year, 2024, he ran for Los Angeles County District Attorney in the Republican primary, yet losing to the now LA District Attorney. He has an online campaign profile, and in it he mentioned he's for equal justice. You're right. And lists about 8 cases referencing that he was a prosecutor who successfully prosecuted high-profile cases. The Ross murders was not mentioned. Why? A mother and her child get gunned down in the comfort and safety of their home by gang members, and David Milton successfully got this conviction and these horrible people, these threats out of the community and society. Why not highlight this case? Most of the cases he referenced doesn't compare to this. So why? David Milton didn't want any light or attention brought on this case, like some Rollin 60s don't, because it is full of conspiracy, corruption, and cover-up. David Milton's poor charging decisions and being so politically thirsty caused him to circumvent and manipulate the judicial process to manufacture a conviction of me, and as a result, he has left a path of damaged lives and victims. From the rape victims who seen their perpetrator, the so-called eyewitness who claimed he seen me, then Mad Ronnie, and another running out the Ross home, received a sweetheart deal of 16 years youth authority as opposed to 66 years in adult prison, to say it was me only he seen exiting the Ross home now, not Mad Ronnie anymore. The rape victim family was livid. This same guy, Maurice Cornett, some dude who was from Rollin 30s, gets the deal and released, only to sexually assault another female when he got out, which he is currently serving time for. This miscarriage of justice created another extended victim in her family of the Ross murders. To the two murdered victims, Nutty is convicted of. These 2 men are dead, and their families have lost debt forever behind what Nutty is convicted of, and him and his crimey little sleep rock and another was speaking on each other about. The detectives and DA clearly seen and had evidence Nutty was involved with the Ross murders and attempted murder of Lil Hard Dog. Nutty should have been taken off the streets. He was a poison and danger to the community. To my friend, Vincent Stone, who the overly aggressive detectives and politically thirsty district attorney, David Milton.
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
Went to his home while we're in trial, seeking and being thirsty for more evidence, threatened him and his family, used physical force and coercion to get him to make a damaging tape against me. The following Monday at trial, David Milton interrupt my defense and bring Vincent in as new evidence. My attorney asked for a mistrial because we didn't have any discovery on this new evidence to prepare a defense. Of course, the judge denied it. Vincent Stone was a 16-year-old juvenile who didn't know how to read or write well. The DA and detectives treated him like the Central part4. While on the stand, Vincent interrupted the proceedings and said he needed to say something. The judge dismissed the jury. Vincent then expressed how he was lying and pressured to say the things he said against me. The judge would not allow the jury to hear this, and this information would be left out of my transcripts. Vincent Stone and his family life has been adversely affected by this. It cast a shadow over them, where they decided to move off of 10th Avenue and relocate into a motel where they slum lived for several years. Vincent Stone did not receive a $25,000 reward, did not ask or have to be placed in witness protection. He was just an afraid juvenile taken into an interrogation room with aggressive and
This call and your telephone number will be monitored and recorded.
And DA using their interrogation method and tactics like those used on the Central part4 to get the statement they needed out of him. I do not hold any animosity or indifference towards Vincent. I understand what happened to him. It took the jury 5 long days to deliberate to reach a guilty verdict based on 3 witnesses: Maurice Cornett, the rapist; George Williams / Nutty, the chameleon, Big U Peoples; Vincent Stone, my friend, and no physical evidence. I would like to add, as my case was in trial, or as the jury was in deliberation, the Los Angeles Times released a small magazine following up on and laying out another high-profile case called the Alexander murders. The case was a similar case where in 1984, some Rollin 60s was convicted of killing a family in the safety and security of their home. I don't know if this influenced the jury in their verdict. However, it wouldn't be irrational to reason this. I don't know if this influenced the jury verdict. However, it wouldn't be irrational to reason this. The things I have said is public record and in my transcripts. Thank you.